Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It that's worth listening to. With us tonight, we have Mr. Daily Dares, aka Filipino Grigio, aka Alex Gallego. We have Mr. Donnie Appleseed, aka Donnie Guzman, Cousins Gallego. And filling in for, who is not here tonight, Mr. Arnold Gallego, is Mr. Chris, aka Milkman America. Welcome back, Chris, return guest host. Thank you so much. And then there's me, Boots Too Big, aka Adrian De La Torre. And tonight we have Mr. Guile Branco. Guile is a Brazilian-born actor, writer, filmmaker based in the U.S., known for his bold, character-driven performances and fearless storytelling. Branco built his career across stage and screen before funding Bright Night Entertainment, an independent production company focused on elevating genre and character-centric cinema. His directorial debut, A Halloween Feast, marks an audacious entry into the horror comedy genre, a darkly funny, fast-paced film starring cult icon Lynn Lowry from Shivers, The Crazies, shot on a modest budget and distributed worldwide by Breaking Glass Pictures with O2 Play handling Latin America. The film has drawn praise for its blend of old-school practical horror and sharp social satire. Since its release, A Halloween Feast has gained a growing cult following, screening in festivals internationally and streaming on major platforms including Tubi, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV.
Life has been nuts lately. My mom's been so freaky.
Your mother's coming back home.
Like, for good?
Is my mom well enough to be at home?
Absolutely.
Guile, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Let's start the feast right now.
Definitely. And congratulations on getting this film made. Seriously, like that is an achievement in and of itself. So let's get right into it. Tell me about the genesis of A Halloween Feast.
Well, I am primarily a writer. Okay, I love acting. I love, film industry, being a filmmaker, and I love all that stuff, But I've been mostly for I guess the last 20 years. I think my life is mostly acting and writing, and maybe the order is like writing and acting. I love both. I mean, really, I love to act. I love to write, and writing is very important to me. I just go in my room and I just really delve into it, and I freaking love to write. I have a lot of scripts, and I think a Halloween Feast. It had a different name. It was called a Prodigal Feast, and I'll tell you that the name was changed because the distributor did. He thought nobody knows what the people don't know what prodigal means, so people will be confused, and then it became a Halloween Feast because yes, the film happens at the end on Halloween. Anyways, I wrote a short story maybe 15 years ago, which had the same characters. And it's kind of an anthology type film where these characters have their own paths, and as the story evolves, these paths cross, and then these characters converge into a finale, basically. And I feel like from a short story, I just was determined to turning into a feature film, so I'm gonna say, gosh, 15 years ago, I had my first version of a Prodigal Feast, which was again the name. I feel like my inspiration. Yes, I love Halloween. I love horror. But when I was younger, I was obsessed about a couple of films. I was obsessed about Brain Dead, which is also called Dead Alive, which is a 1992 movie by Peter Jackson, made in New Zealand. If you guys never seen it, is one of the bloodiest movies I've ever seen, and it's silly, it's ridiculous, and a Halloween Feast is ridiculous and absurd on purpose. So I tell people, if you're too much into realism and logic, you probably are not gonna like my movie. You have to kind of just let go and be like, okay, this is insane and crazy and absurd. And so that movie Brain Dead was a little bit like that. Different storyline, obviously, but just like I like the silliness and the just the crazy nature of it. Another movie I liked a lot, which is not a horror film, was Crash by Paul Haggis, and that movie won an Oscar. But basically, it's the anthology type film where you have different stories that converge. And I feel like I kind of brought elements of these movies together. But then again, I need to say that in the writing process, my writing is not very structured. and also I don't know where it's going. Like I'm not the type of writer who puts like postcards on the walls, who looks at the book Save the Cat and structure, oh, this is the climax. I just freaking write. And I hope it's gonna work in the end, basically.
I
Um,
love Save the Cat, first of all,
dude,
for
it's great.
anybody out there.
I'm not shitting on it. No, okay, I'm saying, for those people out there who love to learn the craft of screenwriting is a great resource. And yeah, structure is good. I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm just saying my process is more free flowing. The so I think I just kind of wrote the first version. And one thing that people don't know is I tried to make this movie in 2012, and I didn't have the resources, and it failed. And that was a blessing because for the next decade, I kept working with it a little bit, and just, I guess, improving things and creating characters. I fleshed out the goth girl character, which everybody loves, so that was a good idea. So I think it became a better screenplay. And yeah, in I believe it was 2022, 3 years ago, it was just like, I must make this movie. Yeah, I was determined, and that is the story.
It's
Nice.
funny.
Wow.
I think Adrian and I had a discussion about the seat of the pants writers versus the what do
Plotters.
the type of the plotters. So like Adrian is a very plotter person, and I'm a very seat of the pants person, and I connect with what how you describe your writing process a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, I just like to go for it and not be tied into any sort of structure. In a way, when you analyze, maybe after I finish a screenplay, because I have several, and I look at it, there is a structure. I just didn't force it into any type of structure. It just kind of naturally happened because obviously, a movie, you have obstacles that the characters have to overcome, or you need a climax, you need all that, and you need, I guess, an ending. um so yeah, when you look at the end, I feel like a Halloween Feast is a little bit different, I think, because you have these chapters, and the chapters, the countdown towards Halloween is something that was it happened in editing, that wasn't in the screenplay. um a lot of decisions were made in editing in this film. I feel like I believe in having a very strong screenplay that is like very well worked, and then in editing you can just throw it out and just be like, all right, because now the movie will exist once the editor. I have to give a shout out our guy Ryan Kelly. He's in New Jersey. He's an amazing editor, and he built that film, and obviously I was involved a little bit after, but I gave him the creativity to play with it, and let's see what works.
That's so awesome. I can't remember who said that a movie is made three times in the writing stage, the production stage, and the post production stage. Did you see the evolution throughout, like each of those three stages? Did you see how it sort of changed throughout?
Absolutely, absolutely. And because you said the writing is interesting because it's in your head. I mean, you read, and the images are just this stuff in your head. And then when you're filming it, and you have the actors, and you have everybody's is on set and acting, I was very excited because I was like, oh, this is working, and this is actually really going well. It went really well. Um, but then, people improvise, people, I come up with ideas sometimes. So I mean, not the script is just like a guideline. I like to really use a screenplay, but people improvise, people do different things, uh you know certain scenes, like the we'll talk about it, but there's a scene where somebody steps over a body and something happens.
Uh,
um
yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah.
scene was that? Oh, I'm trying
Uh,
to remember
so
now.
the doctor gets shot, and the
Yes.
doctor is dying, and there's blood squirting up,
Oh,
and
yes.
that was improvised, man. That was just like
Oh, spur
you
of the
know,
moment.
I had the idea,
Mhm.
and I asked Ling Lowry. I said, "Would you be down?" And she's like, "Yeah." So 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 you discover things in filming, and then you discover things in the post production. Because in editing, like my editor Ryan, he's very good at this. You know, he will look at, for example, sometimes reactions of people before you even say action, because you may be able to find somebody's reaction even before you say action, like when everybody's just waiting and for the scene to start, you know. And I never thought about it. I mean, I'm not an editor. I know how to edit, but I have no desire to delve into files and do that kind of stuff. Um, and the chapters also, I was just like, I think we should do that, and maybe it'll be fun. And that was born in the editing process. So yeah, it's very much like you're right. The movie is made 3 times,
Yeah.
and it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but we have a movie.
And that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And not only, I'm curious because you're the director and you're also acting in the movie. How did you balance both mindsets? Because you had to that's a lot of work mentally. Like you're having to interpret the film to your actors, to your DP and all that, and then you're having to also yourself act in the movie. How did you balance those two mindsets?
Okay, first of all, there's one element I was not expecting that was crazy. It's called exhaustion, because I had to be on all the time. Like you said, like when you're just an actor, you cut, you finish, you go home or you go lie down. I mean, I'm very known for, I've been in a lot of independent films. Yeah, we finish a scene, I go lie down because I want to conserve energy. And when I'm directing, I'm like, oh shit, I can't go lie down right now. I have to be here, you know? When everybody leaves set, I'm there at night, like organizing the next day. And when we had days off, people were off. I was driving a grip truck because this is a low budget film. Like I
Wow.
can't afford to hire somebody to drive the grip truck. I'm driving it. I'm
Right.
bringing props and things to a different location and equipment. So I realized there's no rest. I mean, I'm on all the time. But then again, one thing I'm going to tell you right now is how I was able to do it. I hired the best assistant director that I could find. Her name is Genevieve Cortez. She was my assistant director. She is a director from AFI, which is the best directing school in the world. And I told her, Genevieve, don't let me screw this up. I was going to say a bad word, but I said maybe we need to be a little, careful for children watching. Anyways, and also I have to say she was my director, because I refuse to direct myself. Like, I will never do that. Like, I'm not directing myself. Period. So when I'm acting, she's my director, and my scenes in the film I didn't see until post production
Wow.
because I trusted her that much. I was just
Wow.
like, Genevieve, we're gonna do, 3, 4 takes. If you give me the thumbs up, we move on. I am not gonna watch my scene. I'm gonna trust that she's watching, and it's good, and that's it. We move on. When you do an independent film on a low budget, you never have enough time. You never have enough money. So you have to kind of just hope that you got the images and you have to move on. I mean, we shot this film in 19 days.
Well, really?
Wow.
19 days in
Wow.
a month.
Wow.
Like we started, I'm gonna say like February 20th, and we finished March 20th of the next month. So in 30 days, we had 19 days shooting days in that period. So you have to make sure you can't do 10 takes. You can't do, you have to be smart. And I'm gonna say we didn't have enough time to do a lot of things. A lot of things I wanted to have in the film are not in the film because of time. But that's okay. I just have to accept it as the reality.
I
I have to ask you, what was the hardest day on making this film? Like just the most stressful,
I'll tell
mentally
you.
taxing day.
Yeah. So, have you all seen it? Just curious. If
Yeah.
you didn't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you if you didn't see it.
No.
It's all good.
I
So, the finale in the kitchen was very challenging because we had to make that kitchen bloody and disgusting, and and basically we for the most of the film, okay, we had a double camera, so we would save time by capturing a couple of angles at the same time. For example, we would have a wide angle and a close angle, and then would flip the cameras, and that way we're getting coverage. I mean, it's very important to have coverage because on a single camera is great, but you need to have time because you have to capture one side and then you have to switch and capture so it takes longer. A lot of people, I mean, people who have bigger budgets, sometimes they prefer that because you can really craft each scene beautifully, and it's easier to light. Obviously, it's very hard to light a set for two cameras. Um, but then when we got to the kitchen scene, it's small. We don't have space for two cameras because it's not just two cameras. It's two cameras, two cameramen, two focus pullers, and the lights. And so basically, we didn't have time for that. And once we got the kitchen set up with all the blood and everything happening, and intestines on the floor and severed legs and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh crap, we have like literally an hour and a half to shoot the whole finale, like
Yeah.
of the film.
Jeez.
Talk
And
about ramping up the stress of a
oh God.
of an important shoot.
And on top of that, I was wearing a dinosaur costume that is ridiculous. And
Was that
I'm
a
the
custom, by the way? Was that a custom made, or did you buy that off the rack somewhere?
I'll tell you the story. But let me tell you this first. Okay, so I'm wearing this ridiculous dinosaur costume, and I have only one. So I can't get it dirty with blood. There's blood all around me
Oh,
because I have scenes after that I need it to be clean. So I can't have blood on it. So I'm literally freaking out, hoping that, oh my God, how can I shoot this scene, have my lines memorized, not worry about get the blood on me. There's blood everywhere around me, and at the same time direct this film in like an hour and a half for this particular scene. And it was like a little crazy. It was so crazy we actually had to shoot inserts the next day, which was just like, okay, because we couldn't get enough coverage that day. So we had to do, for example, inserts of the gun and the bullets and things like that the day after, where in which we had other plans. So then you adding more a volume of scenes to be shot when you don't have time. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's stressful when that happens. Now let me talk about the costume. So the reason I have only one costume is because I ordered from China, and I saw this picture online, and it came in a giant box from China, and it didn't look like a dinosaur. It was different than the picture.
oh,
It looked like
Oh
a
no.
No.
giant goldfish. Okay, I mean really, and I'm like, so
big walking tadpole.
I took a picture, I sent it to China, and I said, okay, if you don't refund me, I'm going to write bad reviews on your site. And they refunded me the money. So that was actually a free costume. And then
Whoa.
my wife, who is she's an artist, but she makes she's a welder, she's a woodworker, she builds things and art and things. She's very talented. We spent probably, I don't know, a week or a couple of weeks turning that goldfish into a dinosaur. So the whole thing was custom made. I mean, we made the eyes and we put the eyes on. We did things to it. So that's a unique piece of costume that does not exist anywhere else, and that's very cool.
That's tailor made for you.
Tailor made.
I, I want I want to go back to your assistant director. How did you're saying that you didn't want to direct your own scenes? How did you know that they were the right person to direct your scenes?
Yeah, it's a lot
Tell
of
you what,
trust. You have to.
I worked with her before. She
Okay.
directed me. She had a film that I was an actor in, and we just had a great like thing going. But then again, I just had to trust her, and I took the plunge. I mean, was I certain when we started filming? Did I know it was going to work out? No. So, there is maybe an alternate universe in which I go to editing and I'm like, oh shit, my scenes suck. You know what I mean? I mean, but luckily, no, it was great. I don't have any complaints about. I have only praise towards her. But we tried that and it worked. Yeah.
And you made a horror comedy, which can be, I feel like that's two genres that can be tricky to balance, but
Yeah.
I think you pulled it off. The biggest horror comedy that I can think of just off the top of my head is like Cabin in the Woods.
Mhm.
Were there any previous horror comedies that sort of inspired you to make this movie?
Yeah, I'll go back to Brain Dead. I'll go back to Brain Dead is a great influence because it's silly, it's ridiculous, and it's Peter Jackson's fantastic. But that was before he became super famous, and that movie has so much blood, and I wanted a Halloween Feast to be bloody. If I could have had more blood, I would have done it. And when people say I say that I didn't have more blood because of the budget. And people say because you couldn't buy enough blood. I'm like, no, because the cleanup is actually very expensive.
Wow.
I think we spent over $1,000 to clean that kitchen. We had to hire a professional company, and on top of that, we ruined the house a little bit. So I can never Airbnb ever again on my account because
Oh no.
I have this giant bad review
Oh.
because basically the guy, he knew we were filming. He says, "Oh, I welcome filmmakers." But then we were filming, and then he came in. There's 40 people here with equipment. Of course, we're gonna scratch the walls and stuff. I mean, that's it. We're making a movie, and so we had to paint the house, which is fine. Paint the house, replace some tables. We had blood splatter in the curtains, so we tried washing the curtains and then they shrunk. So the owner's like, "Did you change the curtains?" I'm like, no. Okay, I have to buy new curtains. Okay, great." So I'm like, instead of writing me a bad review on Airbnb, I'm just paying for it. I'm just like, yeah, you don't have to write a bad review. I'll just pay for you for everything. So we were a little upset about that. But anyways, um, I'm gonna say Brain Dead a lot. I love the Evil Dead. The second one is it goes into comedy. The second Evil Dead is so funny. I mean, when you think about it, Evil Dead 2,
Hmm.
like I like that one even more than the first one. I mean, I love the first one. That's like masterpiece. But the Evil Dead 2 is just ridiculous, and I love that he went that route. And in saying all that, comedy is hard.
Hmm.
So it is a sort of thing that sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, I know our comedy probably doesn't always work for everybody, and that's okay. I mean, that's just life. Nothing's perfect. A movie is a subjective experience, and I have to be okay with that. But it's hard, man. I mean, I feel like I watch movies sometimes that are supposed to be horror comedies, and they're just not funny. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I watched The Monkey and I didn't like it. I didn't think it was funny at all. And
Yeah.
that's a big budget movie I don't know. It's just hard. Comedy's hard.
I think a lot of horror movies that claim themselves as horror comedies lean so heavily on the horror, and they take those moments of humor as like dispersed to break up those moments. Whereas
Hmm.
your horror comedy truly felt that level of energy. Uh, just from this interview, you bring that energy with you of just like it's palpable, right? And throughout from beginning to end, you can tell that there's that layer of comedy. I mean, even from the title screen of talking about BC, AD, and then
Yeah.
BH before Halloween, I just thought set the tone.
Yeah, and the comedy has to be in the screenplay. Some people ask me, "How did you get the comedy?" I'm like, "I wrote it, so it's there." I had a co-writer for a little short period of time who helped me a little bit with that, and his name is Arthur McClen, brilliant writer, and he helped me. I'm gonna say back 10 years ago. And he was very good with the comedy, but he brought the screenplay to almost like a airplane level. You know, I mean, completely slapstick comedy. But then for the past, I guess, decade alone with the screenplay, I actually brought it more to the darker side. I actually made it darker. So I'm actually glad that even though it became so much darker, it's all there. I mean, the funny moments, some they're all in the screenplay, and but you know the big twist in the end, and I think even like the grandma scene coming, you know, from the bed, you know, that was him. That was Arthur McLean. He had some great ideas for comedy, and all of us have our fortes, and he's really good at that.
I forgot about the grandma. She was great, by the way. And by the way, we're streaming live right now: Facebook, TikTok, Twitch,
Wonderful.
and YouTube. And I believe Donnie, you believe you had a question you wanted to ask?
Oh yeah, it was going back to earlier when you were talking about the scenes with the two cameras and how you would do the scenes. I just had a question about the scene where you see Gothic Girl like on the floor with all the candles. Did you have additional like lighting equipment, or was that just specifically the candle that was lighting the entire scene?
No, we did have some lighting stuff, and but I have to say, not a lot. You know, when you're doing a low budget film, and that's what I'm saying. When you shoot with a couple cameras, it's very hard to light for both cameras. Actually, it's a lot of work to do that. We didn't have enough time or resources to light things too perfectly. And that's when I'm going to say that post production saved us a lot. Our editor he also was able to balance out the differences. But we did have some additional lighting. I feel the candles were great, but we needed to have more light. I feel like we needed that extra, you know, push of light to make it work. But in post production, sometimes we looked at the two cameras, same scene, and one camera would be a little lighter and one camera would be a little darker, and that's because, hey, you know, I was even afraid that maybe that would ruin some scenes. But if you have a good camera, we were using red cameras, like a Genesis and a
Yeah.
Komodo, which are 4K, so we were grabbing a super high resolution. We on purpose made it a little lighter so you get more pixels into the chip and all that. Even if there's so when you have all that data coming to the cameras, and you see a difference, you can level that in post production. It's a pain in the ass, yes, but it is totally doable if you have good cameras,
Yeah.
like we did.
So I wanted to ask you really quick because I saw a video on your TikTok where you're watching this in the theater with a full what looked like a full audience. You know, after all the blood, sweat, and tears that you poured into making this thing, what was that feeling like when you're sitting in the theater watching it with all these people? What does that feel like?
It's amazing because, you know, in a way, this is a movie that gets reactions from people. So it is for me even
Definitely.
sad a little bit that we didn't get like a full theatrical release because it's so cathartic when you see the people reacting and laughing and going like, "Oh my God," because you know there's some crazy shit that's happened in this movie. So you sitting in the theater is just this crazy experience because like people react to different parts and stuff, and it makes me very proud and very happy. We had quite a few public showings. I mean, we had a world premiere in a very famous big festival in Brazil called Fantaspoa in 2024. That was the first time that I was sitting in this theater with a you know sold out theater, strangers, you know, and that's when I realized the movie works because when we had the film before screening, they're all friends of mine. So obviously my friends will laugh. Okay, my friends will react
They're all
because
gonna
they're my
hype you
friends.
up.
They'll be like, "Oh, that was great, Gil, congratulations."
Yeah.
So you know, you can't really get an honest read of a film when all the people in the audience are the people who worked in the film and your friends. You cannot. So it's nerve-wracking, man, because you're like, okay, I'm sitting here with, you know, 250 people that are strangers. And obviously, I know this is a film that not everybody likes, and that's okay. Like I keep saying that because yeah, we we have great reviews, but there's maybe a 5% that goes like, oh, but that's normal. Okay,
Yeah.
it's for any film. But yeah, when we had that screening in Brazil, it was great, and then we had a Beverly Hills premiere and a 3-day theatrical. Actually, we had the film playing for 3 days when we launched in 2024 in Beverly Hills at a small theater. It was great. That was, and then you building confidence. When you get to that point, you kind of the movie works for the right people, because it's a niche audience that will enjoy this, and but then the challenge is finding that audience. And in saying that, I'm going to say the most amazing showing for me was in Mexico City. I had no idea how it would be. We got into this fantastic festival called Macabro, and we flew to Mexico City. And at first I'm a little upset because they gave me a 4 p.m. showtime, and I'm like, who's gonna come watch a horror film at 4 p.m.? So I'm taking an Uber, through Mexico, and I'm like, oh God, okay, this is gonna be like 20 people in the audience, and I get there, and there's lines of people, and people
Wow.
at the red carpet telling me I
That's
traveled 4 hours to be here, and I'm like, okay. And the movie showed, it was a packed theater, and then at the very end, and this is one of the most amazing experiences of my life, no joke. We finished the movie. There's a Q&A, so I'm there answering questions. And obviously, after 15 minutes to 20 minutes, they just kick you out because they go like, well, we have another movie. It's a festival. I mean, they're going to show a different movie. So I'm there answering. So I say, if you guys have more questions, how about this? I'll go to the street and I'll take more questions. I'll just be there. Dude,
Nice.
I was on the street for 2 hours
Wow. How
because
cool.
Wow.
people could not get enough of the movie. Those fans in Mexico were insane. I've never seen that. I didn't see that in Brazil, in the US. I didn't see that anywhere else. I mean, that was just mind-boggling to me. There was a line of people on the street to ask me questions. And
And look at that. You did all that without having to put the goth girl on the poster in Mexico
dude,
City. So
yes,
congratulations.
she is here.
Which, by the way, is so cool.
Right, that's Goth Girl right here.
Nice.
Oh, nice, nice.
The entire
I have a
cast was great. Go ahead, Alex.
I have a question that kind of leads into more of the story. To me, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a lot of fun. But I do see that, like, is this like a metaphor about generational trauma?
I didn't. Okay, at first, when I started writing the screenplay, and this is complete honesty for everybody watching, um, I didn't want to explain why. Like, why are they crazy? It was just like, she's crazy. That's it. I mean, there's no explanation for that. But I think in my writing process, that's when I discovered the grandma is obviously insane, and you really find out at the end of the movie that, yeah, she's insane. So it passed on to the daughter, and now, we find out that there's a certain character that is her son, who you find out that he's batshit crazy at the end, and then Karen, who's played by Julia Coulter, she is actually getting kind of crazy in the end too. So yeah, I feel like it became a little bit about like something that's passing on to generations. But to be honest, I didn't really think much deeper about that. And that's why the movie has a nihilistic approach. I talk about nihilism in the film because it was for me a little bit of a way to not have to explain too much, and and I don't explain very much, and some people take issue with that, which is fine, but some people go like, but why? I'm like, well, sorry, it's a crazy absurd movie about a crazy family, and yeah, it passed on generational trauma. Yeah, absolutely. And it is what it is, man. I mean, if you're upset, too bad, Um, in that note, okay, I'm gonna say that I had a scene that I wrote for a very specific reason that showed Angela as a child, and her mom, who is grandma, torturing her to dance perfectly. And the reason I wrote that scene is very specific. Number one is because it would give you more of, I guess, more meat into the fact that this is going on for a long time since she was a child, and it shows like the grandma's crazy, Angela's crazy, and it's just passing on. Absolutely. But I'll tell you exactly the reason, because that scene didn't exist until Lynn Lowry said she read the screenplay, and I told her because I didn't she's a horror legend, and I didn't think she would commit for 3 weeks. So I'm like, we don't have a lot of money to pay you. I'm not gonna say how much we paid her, but we paid her very little because trust me, we didn't have much money. And I'm like, Lynn, I'm sending you the screenplay for you to read. We don't have That's all we have to pay is this much. Sorry. And if you want to play Angela, it's 3 weeks commitment. So I wrote a scene, a 1 day scene. So if you can't do that, then it's a cameo. It's a 1 day, and you get to be grandma when she was young, torturing the young Angela who is 7, 8 years old and trying to dance and be a ballerina. And I thought Lynn would go for that. I didn't think because she's so successful, so famous, I thought she probably would be like, you paying me shit money. I'm just gonna do a scene, a 1 day scene. And I would be okay with that. I'll just have to find somebody to play Angela. Well, Lynn Lowry, she read the screenplay and she called me and she says, I want Angela. That's my role.
Wow.
And when that happened, I realized, we don't have a lot of money, so I just ended up discarding and just not using that scene for anything. So I just kind of dumped it, and we shot the film as it was, I guess, originally intended, for it to be. So that is the reason,
Yeah.
and it's
That's a great
interesting.
moment. That's a great
Yeah.
Yeah.
moment for her to be like, "That's me."
Yeah.
Oh my God. And she, a lot of people say that's her best role. I mean, I agree, but I'm biased. It's my
Right,
film.
right, right.
Uh,
I mean, she
her, I
did
mean,
great.
we
She
we
did
had
great, and
yeah,
I have to give a shout out to I think is it James Griggs that plays the
yep,
husband character.
James
I
Griggs.
mean,
Yep.
I don't know. He doesn't look like he has a whole lot of acting credits, but man, like I thought this guy, like he has like the comedic
Man.
chops to play this part. Like the movie opens with him getting his finger chopped off, and then throughout the whole movie, he kind of just spends it very like, oh well, you know what? If you're gonna do that, it's like the attitude that he brings to his character. I don't know. It was just really good.
James is a great guy. I mean, and one thing that people ask me a lot is, how did you cast these actors? And the reality is, all of the actors are close friends of mine for a decade, most of them. The only person we cast was Lynn Lowry because we wanted to have a name talent to help sell the movie, and she's amazing, and she's incredible, and she's just a pleasure to film with. She was incredible. Um, and we had to cast the brother. That's Jackson Layton.
Mhm.
Layton, right here. He's fantastic. But I'm in my 40s. I don't have any friends who are 19. So, so, so my friends group has changed a lot. So I'm like, oh crap, I need to
It's not the
find like
worst problem in the world,
a
by the way.
young actor to play, Stuart, the brother. So I had a little casting. But yeah, everybody else is a close friend. Lou D'Amato, he played the doctor, and Lou and I we met 20 years ago at a bad movie in New York in 2005. So we've been friends for 20 years, and he's actually partners with me in my production company, and so we are a
Nice.
team. Then you have Julia who played Karen. We have an 8-year friendship. Nika Kitrova, she plays the fiance to the doctor. It's a 10-year, 11-year friendship. Goth Girl, Susan, played by Asia Lynn Pitts. We were friends for 8 years. So yeah, it's people say it's very dangerous to cast your friends in your movie because you can be blinded, obviously. But I kind of knew that the roles would be for them. I'm like, I want you to be this character in my movie. And I just had that certainty that it would work. I didn't audition them. I just went like, let's do this movie, and it worked.
Was there any roles that you already had one of your friends in mind, and you were like, I'm gonna write it for them, or was it the other way?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
the doctor.
doctor, Lou D'Amato, yeah, he's been in that role for 10 years. When I was writing, yeah. I mean, Griggs, I've known James Griggs, I've known him for, 7, 8 years. I kind of knew, like, I want you to be Richard. Yeah, like, Pancho Moller, also a very successful actor. Pancho Moller, he plays the gangster. And he actually has some fame because he's worked with Rob Zombie in two movies, 31 and Three from Hell. And I know him because 10 years ago, I didn't direct, I produced a pilot for a TV show, and he played the role of a gay dwarf, which was ridiculous. And so I know him. So I'm like, for 10 years, I'm like, dude, I want you to be the gangster. I want you to, he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be the gangster. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be a badass gangster.
That part.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
what a
was a
fun
great little
character.
part.
Yeah,
I
they're
have a
all
question about the some of the direction in it. There are certain scenes where like something would happen and you kind of expected a larger reaction to it, like say like getting cut off, the finger cut off or everything, and the actors kind of underplay the reaction to like certain things, and I was wondering if that was like a stylistic comedic
Oh,
choice.
yeah. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Okay, so the main theme of this movie is disassociation from problems.
Hmm.
If you think about it, that's the theme.
That makes a lot
Like
of
like
sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just think about it. Okay, so uh like everybody's ignoring. Obviously, she's crazy. Angela, she's gonna kill everybody. I mean, from the first scene that Angela cannot be around this family. And everybody, James, the husband, he's like, "Oh, she's gonna be okay. It's fine." The son, Stuart, he says, "Oh, we need to have a talk. This is unacceptable." And he's like, "No, now it's family time." It's People are not dealing with the problems that are obvious in front of them. And if you pay attention to it, Stuart, the brother, he has a lot of sense and he's very rational. This is not right. The moment he's having sex, oh yeah, it's all good. Let's stay. Let's stay for the feast. Yeah, yeah. Now let's stay for the
He
feast.
switches
Everything is
over.
good.
Yeah.
That's the theme of the film. Even Karen, played by Julia, she actually moved out of the parents' home a year prior because she doesn't want to deal with it, you know? But then, after the mom cuts the finger incident happens, she's back there just to visit and be like, I'm just checking in, everybody's disassociated from the reality that's in front of them, you know? I mean, you wouldn't allow Angela to be back home like that, you know? The doctor, because he's getting pretty much dominated by her in private, he allows her to come back to the family. You know, it's interesting.
So, can we talk about the twist really quick? Because
Oh yeah,
that
absolutely.
was that I didn't see that coming at all.
Nobody
And to
sees
give
it coming.
people some context, your character spends most of the movie with Karen, kind of getting to know her. You're sort of setting up this relationship type of dynamic as they go, and obviously there's a lot of other unhinged things going on. But the most unhinged thing was you reveal at the end that your character is actually the son of Lynn Lowry's character, who
Yep.
she had obviously years and years beforehand. And yeah, I'm just curious, like, what made you decide to write that twist, and like, what inspired that?
First of all, I didn't write it. Arthur did.
Okay.
And my co-writer from 10 years ago, and I was afraid of it. And to be honest with you, I was so afraid of that twist that I shot an alternate version. I actually filmed it, in which Angela says, I filmed it. She says, "Oh, after I adopted you." So she actually, after you find out I'm the brother, she reviews that I was adopted, and the decision to stick with the sick I guess the very unhinged reality that, yeah, no, 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 this is actually real, was in editing. We were editing the film. We had two versions for the ending, and I was just like, oh shit, I was torn. I mean, this is actually the real thing that happened in post production. I didn't know if I should go with the safer version or the insane version. And I remember Ryan looking at me and my editor and going like, Gil, you need to go full crazy and full sick.
That's what I
And
would have
Go all
said.
the
you
way
know,
there.
Yeah.
and I was just like, all right, let's just do it. And yeah, but in saying that, I was worried,
Right.
you know, yeah,
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna go all the way, go all the way.
that's what I'm
Don't
saying. He
don't
was
go
like,
half the all. Only halfways. Do the whole shebang. So
yeah, and there's another scene that I also was afraid that Ryan also says you gotta just go with this. Is okay. So there's a moment when Karen calls Mark and goes to the voicemail because Mark is in the dumpster after being beat up,
yeah.
and there's a voicemail. And I recorded two versions. I recorded a safe version. You reached the voicemail of Mark. Leave a message after the tone. That was it. And I recorded a version that goes that my editor wrote, and he said, "I'm unavailable because I may be playing with little kids," and that's in the movie because it's kind of like I was just like, but Mark is not a pedophile. I don't want that image to be, in
Yeah.
this movie. But then he said, no, but you actually playing with kids. I mean, you're a dinosaur entertainer, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the reality, I mean, the people will probably interpret, go crazy.
Bony.
And I'm like, you're right. He's just being honest. I
Yeah.
almost feel like Mark's character is a little bit he's autistic. He's just like, I mean, the girl like she like passes out. He's like, oh, I bought tampons for you.
Yeah.
It's
So
thoughtful.
when you look at like Mark, my character, yeah, I feel like he's just autistic. He's just like, yeah, I'm playing with children. Yeah, he's really like dressed in a dinosaur suit, playing with children. There's no harm in that. You know what I mean? And if you pay attention to it, Mark actually saves Karen because
Right.
the mother is just gonna kill everybody. I mean, trust
Mhm.
me. If it wasn't for Mark to be like maybe hide the gun, he's trying to get the gun away from her, and so he protects her. I mean, the only reason why Karen lives at the end of the movie is because of Mark,
Mhm.
even though he did something very sick. Because I feel like in my writing process, he doesn't compute that that's bad. You know?
So I have to ask you, what is next for Halloween Feast? Are you going to put it in the film festival circuit, or what's the
Well,
next
so
step?
we already did the festival circuit. We did three festivals, and after the movie is released, so now the movie is available on Tubi for free, Amazon Prime for $3. Apple. We're in like 12 platforms. We're in the U.S., UK, Canada, and Brazil legally, and we're in the rest of the world as bootlegs. Trust me, there are bootlegs in every country. I found it in Farsi. I'm like, people took this and put Farsi subtitles, and I
Nice.
found it. Oh God, I found it in every country.
That's not how you know you made it. That's how you know you
Yeah.
made it.
There,
I'm
there's
super
your
happy. I'm
sign.
like, watch the movie. I don't care. So now it's interesting. I think we're gonna have a Blu-ray release.
Nice.
I was
Awesome.
told it's only February, so
Yeah.
it's not up to me. We have a distribution company who took over the worldwide rights, which is it's called Breaking Glass Pictures, and they have the rights. So basically, they have to decide when to do things. Well, we're friends. We talk about it. Um, but it's really up to them. I feel like now, we're in October, so I'm very active promoting the film because as a production company, like it's my baby. And in saying that, Breaking Glass is fantastic, but they are acquiring, 20 movies a year, so they're not gonna keep promoting my movie forever. So they did promote for a while. They had a PR person and all that, but then once that keeps going, I mean, they're on to the next film and the next film and the next film. So uh, that's why I say I tell independent filmmakers is you have if you really love your film, you must be out there championing it and talking about it, and that's why I am on social media. I didn't plan on having a TikTok account until a clip of the movie went viral. I mean, this happened, I don't know, 6 months ago, and this clip got like, I don't know, 65,000 views in a week. And I was like, oh shit, I need to get a TikTok account. And that's when I got the account, and so I don't know what's next, man. I think that the movie is just doing its thing and people are discovering it, and it's kind of fun. I tell people go on Letterbox and write a review. Letterbox is great because it's a very social like network of discovering movies, and we actually are doing great there. I mean, people are finding our movie on Letterboxd a lot. And I'm gonna say for all of you, if you guys haven't done it, write a little something. Honest, please. I don't. I don't like when people go like 5 stars. This is the best movie I've ever seen. I'm like, really? I mean, no, The Shining is that. You
Right.
know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm okay. I like honest reviews. I like when people say, I like this section. Oh, this was a little slow. And I'm like, yeah, people, it's okay to have opinions about films. The only reviews I don't like is it's awful. I'm like,
Right.
tell me why. I mean,
Yeah.
give me your opinion. Just it's fine. I'm okay. You
You
know?
have to welcome negative
Oh yeah.
comments into,
Oh yeah.
we have read some of those,
Yeah.
believe me, for this show on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like it's
Right.
fun, you know what I mean? Like
Comments of love.
everyone's a critic, as they
Everyone's a
say.
critic. Yeah. 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 And
Um
I really enjoy honest reviews, and
yeah.
it's okay. You know?
Yeah, and speaking of letterbox, really quick, I was looking at your letterbox, and you have an acting credit on The Hangover and Don't Mess with the Zoan.
Man, that was a long time ago. That was yeah. That was just featured, and the thing is, I think I was cut out of both movies. I mean, so you can't, it's just a credit that stayed, and it's just weird because it's there for, gosh, it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
I think I was on a set for The Hangover in 2008. We were
Yeah.
filming in Las Vegas, and I played a photographer at the casino. We were filming at Caesar's Palace, and I had a camera. I was taking photos. Like, okay, okay, come in, photos. That didn't even make it into the film, so
Oh.
I'm not really proud of those credits. But yeah, I was there filming.
I had to ask because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all the
that's one of my
time.
favorite movies.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky.
Well, thank you so much, Gil. I think we're getting close to that hour. I know you said you wanted to do an hour. I mean, tell us, is there any other projects you have on the horizon? Anything you can talk
Yeah, I
about that you're
mean,
working on? I'd love to
I
know about
have.
that.
I'm gonna say I am on my 13th draft of a new screenplay, and I'm loving it. It's a murder mystery with horror elements and sci-fi elements, and I'm actually really, I guess, getting my final version probably right now, I hope. And I'm trying to see if I can find resources to film it. It's way more complex than a Halloween feast, so I'm gonna need some real budget for this. So fingers crossed. Wish me luck. You know?
Nice. Well, keep us in the loop. We'd love to support you, just
Yeah.
even
Thank
whatever
you.
we can do on social media. But let me ask you, because TikTok is there's so many up and coming filmmakers on there,
Mhm.
people who are just getting out of high school,
Yeah.
college, whatever. What advice would you give to someone who wants to make a feature film?
Uh, Learn to write well. Don't write two drafts and think you're ready to film. I am not ready at 10 drafts. I don't, you see, and this is a gripe I have. I know a lot of people who are independent filmmakers and who are people who want to make films, and they will write something and they'll just be like, it's ready. A friend of mine, somebody who is Brazilian, he put on ChatGPT, translate to English. It's ready. No, it's not ready. Don't do that.
Mm,
Please do not do that. I believe really that sure the movie changes obviously like we said in filming in post, but you have to have a solid screenplay to start with that is non-negotiable. non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like I know some people like to improvise. Oh, let's improvise. Yeah, well, you don't have the funding of Curb Your Enthusiasm, okay? Okay, and millions of those people. I mean, you need to have a strong screenplay. That's my first advice. And my second advice is it's never going to be perfect. You can't
Thank you
wait
for saying
for
that.
the right situations to make a movie. When we started filming a Halloween Feast, I didn't have the budget I wanted. I didn't have even the budget I needed to have. I had people telling me, Gil, you have to wait. You have to give another 6 months. You have to find more money. And I said, no, we're gonna make do. We're gonna make it work. So don't wait for perfection. There's no perfection. I think that's the true advices. Let's stop there.
No, that's great. Thank you for saying that. And
And
that's a Halloween feast.
that is the hardest movie to explain what actually happened. It's just not it's not an elevator pitch. You cannot go in an elevator and pitch this movie to anybody.
You could say like a woman goes crazy and her family just kind of vibes
Dude,
with it.
that's
You know
it.
what I mean? That's really what you can say. At
That's
the
it.
end. Gil, thank you so much, guys. Did you have any other questions for Gil before we sign off here?
Not that I can think
love
of.
the trailer and the poster of the movie. Can you just say, like, real quick, if you can, like, what was it like to market the movie? So you go through the trials and
question.
tribulations, you're exhausted, you have this beautiful your project, and you're happy about it. What's it like to actually promote that?
Well, it's so much fun because when you're so passionate about your film, I mean, it's easy because you really want people to watch your film, and especially when you know that it's when you get that realization that actually works. Like I said, when you go to a festival and people respond, then it's just great because I can't wait for people to see it and react to it. I always say I cannot wait for your reactions to this film. Um, but Breaking Glass, our distributor, they actually made the poster and they did the trailer for us. Um, I don't have those skills. I'm very happy that they actually put effort and money behind because yeah, I think it's a great poster. It's a very good selling point of the movie. And the trailer came out great for the footage that we had. So it's a partnership. I guess my third advice going back was to have a good team because if you have a shitty team, it's not going to work. I mean, I guess in my mind just spaced out, but that was my third advice. A team is so important. Like I said, a great assistant director, great camera, great light, great this, and a great distribution company who understands that they have something of value that, you know what, I'm going to invest in making something great. I'm going to invest in a trailer because, if they are making money, I'm making money and vice versa. It's just, we're all a team, so that's what I have to say. It's have a strong screenplay. Have don't be too afraid. Nothing is perfect, and you must find the right team because you do not want to have somebody that's going to pull you back.
Well, that's great advice. Thank you for that. And really quick, Healing Laughter Power in the chat. He was wondering what scenes you'd wish that you had made it into the film.
What scenes didn't make it into film?
That you had wished would have made it into it. Yeah.
I wish that early scene that we shot. That I wrote that scene for Lynn Lowry, which was like it was to be before the film. The scene I wrote where you would find Lynn Lowry. I mean, Angela would be a child and Grandma torturing her. I kind of wanted that scene because it would just help with the like you said, Grigio, the generational trauma. It would help with that, and it was just a fact of like, oh crap, that's a period scene that would have been 1970s, and we barely have money to film this movie as it is. We can't just now do a period scene and cast a child actor who does ballet, and it just. But I really wish that scene existed. But it's okay. You just have to. But I'm happy with the movie overall. I feel like as a writer director, I guess there is a danger of me having too much stuff there that's personal, that's not helping the story. And I know the movie's a little long for some people. I know that, but that is also a lot of stuff in there is for me. And that's okay. Some people love it, some people don't. You just have to make peace with that. And because what happens a lot in Hollywood is the people who edit the film, the director does not have final cut because the studios know that the director will probably put stuff there that's personal to him. So they want to separate and be more objective and having a different team finish the movie. And that's why, like for example, 30 years later, you have the director's cut of Ridley Scott in Blade Runner. Because he's like, the studio did something weird with my movie. I had a different vision of the movie. And that happens. So yeah, there is a certain danger in having so much control like I had. But if you didn't like it, too bad.
I 100% agree. I think it sounds like making films is a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you find your niche or you find your audience decades after the fact. You just never know. You
never know. I don't know where Halloween Feast is going. I just hope people are watching, and people are watching. We're getting reviews. We got our third Rotten Tomatoes approved critic review last week. Actually, this past 4 days ago. So I see that things are happening. People have a heightened interest in movies like mine this season. So we see an uptick. Our distributor told us, you should expect an uptick in interest every, September, October, and that's kind of fun to see. But we don't know where it's going. It's a mystery, and it's just fun to wait and see.
Well, we wish you good luck. I think it's a fun little film. I think that it's perfect for, the spooky season, as they say. And, it's got that kind of like cult horror comedy vibe. And I feel like those types of movies always seem to have like the strongest followers for some reason,
Yeah.
And I think you're on your way there.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much,
thank you
guys.
for being a part of this, for letting us talk to you tonight. We're just gonna go around really quick. We're all gonna give our socials, and then we'll wrap her up. So yeah, Alex, let's start with you. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you could find me at Daily Dares on most social media. And if you go to the link in the bio, you can go check out my Depop link, Collectible Galaxy. Go check out all the vintage stuff that I sell there.
Go buy some cool stuff. Thank you, Alex.
Get some swag.
Donnie, some swag, yeah. Where can people find you, Donnie?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram _Donnie Appleseed. Also on Instagram 125 Photography for some of my photography if you're interested.
Oh yeah, nice. Thank you, Chris, Mr. Milkman America. Where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Milkman America, and yeah, there you go.
Nice. And Gil, let's anything you want to plug really quick? Anything else?
Yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to follow the movie?
Watch A Halloween Feast. Go on Tubi. It's free. If you hate ads, then you can spend $3, man. It's like a coffee is more than $3 in most places, okay, in the US. And Amazon Prime, it's like $3.99. I think Apple TV is $2.99. So you can watch it without ads in these platforms for very cheap. And we make a little bit more money too. But Tubi's great. If you don't want to spend $3, watch free. Support us by going on Letterboxd and writing a review, an honest review. And lastly, the handle on Instagram and also TikTok is at A Halloween Feast Movie. That's it. Support us. If you want to follow me, you'll find a way. Trust me. I just want to talk about Halloween Feast.
Nice. Thanks for that, Gil. We appreciate it. Appreciate you being on the show. And you can follow the show, Never Seen a Podcast, at neverseenapodcast.com. We're everywhere. Blue Sky, X, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Too many places. And I'm not even going to plug my own personal one because I manage all those somehow.
Wonderful.
So just follow me, follow us, follow the show at those places, and leave us a comment, leave us a review. Did you watch Halloween Feast? What's your favorite cult Halloween horror movie? Let us know in the comments. We want to thank the chat. We want to thank Healing Laughter Power HLP, as always, coming in with the questions and following us everywhere. And we had up to 8 viewers at one point, so that's fun. We'll be going live every time we stream. Be sure to stay, turn on those little notifications. You'll get an email from our respective social media platforms to follow us. But yeah, that's the show. Never Seen a Podcast. Neverseenapodcast.com. Any final words from anybody? No? Okay, that's more.
Watch Halloween Feast.
Halloween Feast is a fun watch.
I'm obsessed.